One. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Connector Talk, where I'm going to bring on people who rather are connectors themselves or help others connect with other people. You guys have probably all heard the saying that, we're all separated by 6 degrees of separation. We know somebody who knows somebody, but in fact, it's usually we know somebody who's a connector, meaning someone who's constantly building new relationships, new acquaintances, and using their own life as a network. So David Schloss is just a genius in Facebook ads, which may seem just like a technical little thing, but with the power of Facebook, harnessed the right way, can be used to connect massive amounts of people. So David, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm glad to be number one. That's huge.
Yeah, man. Talk to me a bit about what's special about Facebook right now, and how people can be using it to get themselves out there and to be more known for who they are.
Sure. So, I mean, everyone, in a way, and my belief is everyone knows a bit about the Facebook ad platform, right? But I look at it a little deeper than that. So Facebook actually crafted, molded, and helped me get out of a lot of BS in the early journey of my business life, because it was because of all those connections I made through Facebook that I was able to get out of my rut, my downfall. So yes, it could help you build a business. It could help you advertise your message and distribute it around the world. But in a way, you can meet some incredible people. Like how I met you was through Facebook. Yeah. And we can create magic from it, whether it's, that one piece of advice that can help you overcome adversity because of a conversation you had with someone, to as far as joining a group where you meet someone who's a Forbes contributor and all of a sudden they're writing about you, right? You can create anything on Facebook, buy and sell things, distribute messages, whatever it is you want, it's in this ecosystem. So it's more than just advertising.
So do you get into that at all in your business? Like teaching people, because obviously you run ads for people, but do you tell them how to like use Facebook?
Yeah. So the one thing that I feel is a little bit different about me, in a sense of just being an agency owner, is I'm not just going to my clients and saying, here's how you run an ad, here's why we run an ad, here's why it's effective, and blah, 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 and your ROI. That's incredibly important, don't get me wrong. But I spend more time getting to know my clients and who they speak to. Because like I said, I only have 2,500 friends on Facebook. Ooh, I don't have 5,000. Oh, well. But the point is that those 2,500 people all have a purpose. Just like how a lot of my clients, their personal profile might only have 1,000, 1,200 friends, and their fan pages have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. But they've never looked at their personal profile as a gold mine of information, of connections, of people who can help them take that next step. It could be a contributorship to a popular publication. It could be a feature in a book, or it could just be that they're going through a bad point in their life and someone in that group is a great listener and that's all they're looking for. So yeah, I discuss these things with my clients because we don't just talk about business. I'm creating friendships with my clients. That's why they stay with me for so long. So we go deeper than just saying, how'd your webinar do yesterday? So yeah.
Yeah, when I'm always, because I make videos, so sorry, your audio is a little reverby. Can you just mute? Yeah, can you just mute while I'm talking?
You're good.
Thanks, bud. So I'm always making videos, and I require my clients to have a marketing strategy built in that we usually build, but they need to implement. And they've heard a lot about Facebook ads and things like this, and basically, what I'm trying to tell them is that it's about getting your message in front of people at the right time, and kind of like, it's not just about the tactic of Facebook or anything like that, but it could be simplified to, look, people are on Facebook, their attention is there, put your message in front of them in the right way. And I think, above that, can you please speak to how surgically targeted you can get and how that ensures you're actually connecting with the right people at the right time? Because this isn't, a lot of, even though people know Facebook and know it's the thing, they think it works like traditional media, that you just kind of just blast something out there. But it's not the case with Facebook. Can you talk about how you're ensuring people are staying connected, are making genuine connections with the right people?
Yeah.
using and how Facebook's unique for that.
Yeah. So, Facebook has some really, really detailed targeting options, right? You can go as broad as I want to target everyone who's 25 to 34 years old in the entire United States or the whole world. Or you can go a little deeper than that and say, I want to target people who are 35 to 55 years old, they're male, and they're financial planners who have a college education and are parents of kids who are over the age of 10, right? You can go really deep with the detail. And let's not forget, I didn't even mention what they're interested in, what their purchase behavior is, who they're connected to. I mean, there's a lot of things you can really dig into when it comes to creating that persona, because that's really what you're creating, right? When you're selling, let's say like a physical product, let's just say what's hot right now, a spinner, a fidget spinner, right?
Sure.
Who is that ideal for? Mostly people who are teenagers up to around 29 years old. That's what I've found from my own testing, right? So the people who are typically buying that are, let's just say 16 to 29, predominantly male. Doesn't mean that women aren't buying, but predominantly male.
Sure.
And are people who are interested in research revolving around ADHD, autism, things around when people are physically fidgeting all day long. Now, of course, there's people who are going off of trends too, right? The people who see these videos on viral sites and on YouTube, and they're popping up on Facebook all day. But the point is you have that core persona, 16 to 29, predominantly male. Now you're just creating the different groups. You have the ones who are looking at it from a scientific standpoint. Then you have the other group of people who are just buying it because it's the hot thing right now, just like how hoverboards used to be huge, right?
Sure. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So think about that. It's the same group. And then some people are like, oh, it's a cool gadget. And other people are like, this can actually get me around town pretty quickly, right? So you can create pockets of different types of customers, but they all start with that core demo, right? What's their age group? What's their gender? You can go even as far as how much money are they making? What's their purchase behavior? Do they buy a lot of gadgets, or do they buy offline or online more often? Facebook gives you a lot of things to work with.
Okay. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Facebook is easily the number one way to advertise. From a broad sense, there might be other niche markets that fit better somewhere else's, but it's pretty okay to assume that your business can advertise on Facebook. So if that's the case and you're the guy or someone else is the guy to do it, then what is the ideal situation for you? Like, what does the client need to have already to come in? Do they need, what should they work on so that when they work with a manager like with you, they're ready to go?
All right. So that's the thing. And I've had this conversation with people in the past. There's all sorts of different types of ad managers, right? Let's just classify me at this moment as an ad manager. I like to consider myself a customer acquisition specialist, but a lot of people consider us just ad managers, right?
Sure.
But ad managers all act differently. I'm someone that you would come to with let's just say a pre-existing sales funnel or sales process that is working, but you haven't figured out how to scale yet. You want to go from making $100,000 a month to $500,000 a month. I'm your guy. You want to go from 10,000 to 50,000? I'm still your guy. You're looking to scale. I have a process for scaling, for growing a business further than what you thought was possible. Then you have other ad managers who are great at going from zero to whatever that may be, because they're the types of people who have that creative process, or they're willing to go through the trenches with you to build whatever it is you need to build. I'm not saying I'm not that guy. I just know my strong suit. I know where I'm a best fit. So in the beginning, you might find an ad manager that's like, you got zero, brand new webinar, brand new sales page, brand new service, whatever that may be. They love that. That's what they thrive off of. That's what they love to be a part of, is the growing process of going from zero to hero, right? I just want to take your stuff from where you are to that next level. And so really, when you're talking to an ad manager, really get to know them a little bit more and see where do they handle stress better. In the beginning, when you need to turn around things in 30 or 60 days and really get money moving, or are they the type of person that's going to be more confident when you have something that's a little bit successful and you want to take it to that next level?
So would you say it's okay for businesses to start doing, like, to total novice, can they accomplish it themselves? I mean, is it
100%? 100% they
okay?
can. Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
okay, so they can take it into their own hands. So what do you provide that they don't? Just deeper knowledge of targeting, or just, I mean, what if we're going to encourage people to do it themselves? Why hire a manager?
Because it gets to a point where the free time that they have to run their business may be utilized in running their ads at that moment, because they don't want to pay the money to hire an ads manager. Ads managers could be $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, some of them $10,000 a month, depending on your objective and their set of skills, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when I started out, I was charging $1,500 a month, and gradually, as the type of business changed with me, my pricing changed as well. But understand, my specialization became more defined, and it also increased in value because of what I was bringing to the table for people, right? So in the
Got it.
beginning, when someone would come to me and say, this is my product or service, here's where I am now and here's where I want to go, there are certain people I've actually told to them, hey, it would be better for you to run your ads right now, because
Mm,
I am not at the level you need to grow to that point so that I'm comfortable
sure.
taking. Not yet, but you might be
Yeah.
a good fit for someone else for the time being. And I have no problem telling people, don't hire an ad manager right now, because to go from 5 or 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month really just takes delivering more ads. It's whether or not you have the time to manage it. So when you're having a time crunch, when you can't manage your time effectively, that's when you need to go hire an ads manager to do the work for you. Because that extra
Yeah.
2 or 3 hours a day you were spending on ads, you can go build your business now. You can go do
Plus
some.
you'll do it. Plus you'll do it better,
You'll do
right?
it better.
I mean,
Yeah.
because you have all these little tricks, I'm sure, that you apply, which is awesome. All right, guys, we're with David Schloss. If you guys have any questions for David, please leave them in the comment section below. Jack said that's some good insight. Marketing my music has been easily separated. Cool. Glad you're getting some value, Jack. So let's go back to this whole Facebook thing, because we want the average person to be able to use these platforms to connect with each other
Mhm.
and ultimately help more people, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I know you're a client acquisition person. Is there anything that you know about Facebook that they could be doing to get them ready for ads? Like for instance, me, I stack my profile with content and
Mhm.
things. Are there any other variables besides the ad itself that can help them when they do run their ads, like a profile picture, or
Yeah.
good stuff on their profile, or a lot of followers? Like what are some good indicators or things people can work on as they get ready for their ads?
So it's definitely a combination of things, right? So I'll just use my profile as a good example here, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
got a professional design cover done last year, or about a year and a half ago, for my profile. You would think
Yeah,
nothing
the
of it.
orange one, huh? When
Yeah,
you're
the
on,
big orange one.
it's right here. It's right here. So go ahead.
And it pops. The minute you see it, you're like, oh, damn, that's orange, right? It's in your face.
Yep.
But people still remember that cover like you do, right? And all I did was switch it. That's all I did. But it put emphasis on who am I and what do I want to be? I'm an author, speaker, investor, coach, whatever you want to call me, but I know I'm those things, right? And that's what I stand for. And my name is David Schloss, right? And it says it in the cover. And because of
Uh,
that, when people see it, they're like, oh, this is really nice. It's nicely designed. Didn't cost me that much. It cost me like $100. But,
mm,
it makes my profile look amazing. Same thing
got
goes
it.
along with the image that I use for my profile. I literally went to Miami, Florida, took a picture by a very fancy artistic wall, and boom, there you go. I got a picture. Nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a lot more quote unquote professional than me with a beer in my hand, drinking, looking like, whatever you want to look like, right? I want people
Sure.
to land on my profile and go, okay, this guy seems a little legit. Let me go a little deeper. That's when then the content comes into play. What are you posting frequently? Are you posting pictures of the food you've been eating while you're on vacation? Or have you been doing a mix and match? Because there's nothing wrong with posting about your food. I've actually gotten clients posting about food. It's how
Yeah.
you're delivering the message, right?
Sure.
So it's, one day I post something up about a case study that I got with one of my clients where we took, one of their webinars from 0 to 10K a month, right? Then a couple
Mhm.
days prior to that, it may be just an awareness that I had around how my business is functioning and how I've
Mm.
sort of transitioned from being just a one-man band to a 6-person team, right? So I change up the messaging but it's all still revolved around what have I learned and what you can do with that process. So when I deliver something, it's here's the mistakes I made, here's why I made those mistakes, here's what I did to combat them, and here's what I learned. And that's with anything. And because of that, people know that when I write something, it is important and it's insightful. I do it deliberately, and I don't do it often. So there's people who might post 8 times a day, and they're really effective at that, and that's their process. Good for them. Then there's people like me who post maybe once or twice a week, but when I write, it's effective, deliberate, and it gets the job done. So you really just have to determine within yourself, like what's comfortable for you. You know, if you want to post about your life, that's great. But are you delivering a message that people can remember?
And then, it does make a difference. That's the point.
Makes a huge difference. And then the followers, that's really just a matter of, you know, are you connecting with people? Well, followers and friends, completely different, right? Especially on a personal profile. You can have a lot of friends in business who never look at your stuff because they're all looking at their own stuff, right? And then you can have friends who support and share your content because you're naturally doing the same with them. I mean, I've sort of created that ecosystem with my friends. I know who shares my stuff. I share theirs. We're always supporting each other. But then you got the followers who come along because if your content's public and it gets shared, naturally it shows up on other people's timelines and you create that effect of more people following your page. And so what I have found is that in order to gather more and more followers is just you got to be strategic with your content. Like when I really want someone to share something, I go so in depth with the content, especially like a case study, that it gets shared dozens of times. And I give away as much as I possibly can because how many people are actually going to apply what I just gave away? Not that many.
Yeah, at least but it still does a different purpose than them applying it, right? It positions you and it shows how in depth you go. Okay, cool. We have a quick question here. Can you speak about the difference between using Facebook ads for conversions versus brand awareness, especially for local brick and mortar companies?
Absolutely. So with a local brick and mortar, so conversions are always going to be your end goal, right? Your conversion could be getting an appointment, getting someone to just call the business, someone to fill out a form, right? And then you have other cases where you're building brand awareness through, let's say, like a video ad, which I 100% would tell a business to do is create as many video ads as they possibly can. And it could relate to the story of the business, why it was started, who is the owner, why did the owner decide to get into this business, right? Just delivering the story. And that does build brand awareness around, well, the brand. Because when people can engage and understand the personality behind this company, they connect with it more. And so that same ad that you're putting out there just to tell people who you are and why you do what you do, it's going to get you conversions anyway.
Sure. I wonder if he's talking about, and I don't know, but is he talking about setting the goal for the actual ad? You know, when you're in the ad manager and you set it for conversions versus awareness?
Yep.
Do you think that maybe that's what he's talking about?
If that is the case, if you're talking specifically about the objective of brand awareness versus conversion, then brand awareness is more focused around the reach. It's more focused around the impression, right? So it's how many people are seeing what I'm delivering to that world, being, let's say, like a specific zip code or a city and within a certain radius. So with the brand awareness campaign, it's more of like a big blast out there of, hey, everyone in this area, look at me. And it might lead to conversions if you tell the right story. Whereas with a conversion ad, you know, you're going to specifically choose who you want it to go to in hopes that they go through the, you know, let's say the sales funnel, leave their information and eventually book an appointment or whatever that objective is for you. So yeah.
Well, I think, you know, I don't want to get too technical here, but don't you right when you start an ad, especially on a manager that hasn't ran too many things and fired off too many pixels, don't you want to create the objective for something besides conversions at first, so that you know, like clicks, for example, so you could show Facebook your objectives are being met at first? Or do you
Well, that depends on the person, right? So like for me, I've had accounts that are brand new where I start strictly with conversions, and I've actually seen some great results. And then there's other cases where, like with a local business, I would probably start with the traffic objective or the page post engagement objective. Like that's just what I've started with. And that's mainly just because when I'm delivering an ad for a local business, I typically post it on the timeline or the newsfeed anyway, right? So we're
Sure.
just taking the post ID and then distributing the message that way versus doing a dark post, which is you're setting it up on the back end and it's not on your newsfeed at all, or in your timeline, excuse me. So, for me at least, depending on the size of the area and what we're trying to achieve with the ad, I might start with traffic as the objective or page post engagement before I jump into conversions. But like anything, and like any ad manager I'm sure would say, you just got to test it. You
Sure.
just got to try it and see what happens.
All right. You know what question I got to ask you next, David? Where does video play a part in this? Do videos help the process? Have you seen any data? Like, what's good, man?
So you're going to love this because this is going to parlay right into your business. But video right now is absolutely crushing it for everything that I'm running right now. So we just ran, well, I'll just use one of the examples because we run a lot of campaigns every day. So right now we have a video ad that's pointing to a webinar specifically on teaching people how to get into, well, there's a bunch of them, but one of them is, let's just say, getting into the speaking realm. So learning how to become a professional speaker. Mm-hmm. And of course you would think, like, this guy's a speaker, you should do a video ad because, well, what a way to showcase his speaking ability than on video. Well, the funny thing is, in the beginning, we were only using banners because it just showed him on stage and that was enough and it worked. But the minute we start incorporating the video ad component to it, nothing crazy either. We're just talking sitting in your chair, looking at the camera and delivering the message. The ad cost in terms of like the cost per registration went from about $6 to hovering to around $4. Now that may not seem like a lot, but an extra $2 per conversion can go a long way when you're spending, 5 to 10K a week, right? So now we're looking at an extra flow of hundreds, if not thousands of people coming into this promotion, and then the sales volume increases.
Which means more people being helped, the world's a better place, et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera. And I've also had a couple clients that use video ads specifically just to showcase results of their clients. And in doing that, we use what's called slideshow videos, so we can incorporate both the visual aspect of an image with the animation aspect of a video. So we just combine them together, and we can go through, like, having my client do a voiceover of the results that we're showcasing in this video, and it's like a 2-for-1 effect. Because if we notice the video doesn't work for any reason, we could just pull out the images and use those. And we've seen those types of videos do incredibly well for nearly every campaign we're running. Because what better proof do you need than having your own students or your clients say how awesome you are and why people need to work with you, and then delivering that to the world and say, if you want in, this is where you go. And so video ad has been incredible. And the fact that more of my clients are finally opening up to doing it because so many people are saying it's working, it's been incredible for me, because now I can just do my job at its best versus having to hack the system and do everything with images only. Exactly.
Can you give me a quick, like, little philosophical riff on why you think that's like that? Like, why do you think video is different? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, to me, it's a lot more engaging. It's also one of those things where it's like I pay more attention to video because it stops me in my tracks, right? Unless the image is just so eye-catching or so outlandish that I have to stop. Video is just that thing where it's like you see a little thumbnail or it auto-plays. And in most cases in Facebook, it starts auto-playing and you're like, what is this? And then you stop. So the minute you stop, you're hooked. Especially if it's something that is relating to what you're already interested in. Now you're turning up the volume to hear what's going on. Not to mention, and I know you've seen this, the captions, where you can add in the captions to your video. Even if the sound isn't on, you could still read what's going on. Facebook has, obviously allowed you a couple of ways to stop people in their tracks and to pay attention to whatever it is you're delivering. Whereas with an image, it's a quick scan. And if you don't grab their attention within that 1 second of them going, nah, I don't know, they just keep going. They just keep scrolling. Whereas with a video, something keeps playing and they see these captions, it really makes them stop for a lot longer. And they might start reading the captions, or they might start watching the slides go by, or whatever it may be. So I just feel it's more interactive. Incredible. It delivers a message much clearer, And now people don't have to write long diatribes of copy to be effective when they can just implement it into the video and have the video do the job. So in a way, it's to me, it's just more effective. It's just a lot more effective. Someone who
Yeah.
watches a video, they're going to be more engaged with you, and they have more probability of buying, from my own experience, than just delivering an image and hoping for the best.
Yeah, I mean, we say the same thing. The way we define it is like, graphics and text rely on the end user to visualize what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
And videos visualize things for you. So you're not wondering if this guy is trustful or if he's a good speaker. You can actually experience it and get a sense of their reality firsthand, opposed to just relying on them talking about it. Like talking about how successful, they can just show it, and that's really cool. Well, awesome, man. Can you give any homework to the audience of maybe what they should try to do, immediately, no matter who they are, no matter what kind of business they run moving forward, even if it means going to bed at night and being grateful for Facebook or like whatever. What do you think, my audience of business owners can move forward with immediately in the Facebook realm?
Sure. So one, everyone should be thankful for Facebook. In one way or another, it's impacted your life. You just may not be aware of it yet. But one way or another, it's done something positive for you. So just be thankful that it's there. But here's another thing I would say. If you're not running video ads, you need to. And if you already are, make sure that you start to create ads that showcase the result that people have had in working with you. So even if you own a restaurant, as an example, going around the restaurant saying, how can we just get like a 3-second snippet of how much you enjoy your food? And that person just goes, I freaking love this meal, and here's why. That's going to be great for your business if they allow you to post that. Especially if you get a mashup of all the people who say how awesome your business is and why your food is so amazing. And that same logic can apply to any brick and mortar. It can apply to anyone who's online. You sell courses, get 10 of your best students to record a small, short testimonial of how that course has impacted their life. Not how much money they made, impacted their life. Big difference, right? Yep. So the same thing can be applied to any business. And even if it's not 10, even if it's 2 people, start getting testimonials and case studies of people who've had the experience in working with you. And those video ads are going to do wonders for your business. And if you don't have any, it's okay. Just get yourself on camera, start delivering your message to the world. And as you start to deliver that message and people start to work with you, you'll naturally eventually get someone that says, hey, I have a testimonial for you. And that just kickstarts the whole process.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, dude. I know I got a lot of intelligent, capable people on my friends list that are running medium to big size businesses and even small. If you need a Facebook ads guy, if you need any advice, or if you're looking to have that whole process taken care of, hit up David. Tell him I sent you. Thank you, David, so much for coming by, and I can't wait to catch up with you some more. Get a little catch you up on what we're doing and hear more about what you're doing.
Really appreciate it.
All right, see you next time, buddy.